Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. We are back. It's American Coin and Currency, the future of RWAs, tokenization, infrastructure, and institutional adoption. Today we have our special guest, 𝘲𝗶𝘀. She is a co-founder, chief business marketing officer from Valdora Finance. A little backstory on 𝘲𝗶𝘀. 𝘲𝗶𝘀 is a leading voice in RWA tokenization and institutional grade blockchain infrastructure. She co-founded Valdora Finance, a liquid staking protocol, a zigzag chain engineered specifically for tokenized real-world assets, compliant infrastructure, and scalable enterprise adoption. Her work focuses on building on the ecosystem around stZIG, forging strategic partnerships, community networks, education pipelines, and high-integrity narratives required for mainstream adoption. And the space often crowded by short-term actors, 𝘲𝗶𝘀 focuses on connecting the right builders because real adoption only happens when serious participants shape the future. Thanks for being with us today, 𝘲𝗶𝘀. We're here with John, co-founder, or founder, not co-founder, I'm co-host, founder and CEO of American Coin and Currency. Thanks, guys. How's it going?
Thank you, 𝘲𝗶𝘀, for being here. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, guys, for the invitation. John, Dustin, that was generous of you to call me the leading voice over RWAs in the space. trying to be that, like, trying to learn and improve and build, especially in this market condition. But as they say, and I do agree, right now it's the best time to build.
Agreed. Yeah, when the market's going down in the crypto space, or the most traditional spaces are going up, it's good to find your niche. And when there's not a lot of people out there trying to do what you do, then it's good to build while others are not building.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of noise out there, and it's good to focus on the signal. So I know the RWA space is near and dear to myself, because I actually real world use cases. But yeah, let's get into how you got started. So what led you to build Valdora Finance, and why is your focus specifically on RWAs?
All right. This is a long story. The first time when I saw the idea of tokenization was back in 2017, when we had NFT boom, and like tokenization of art was it was really special, especially with my artistic background. I studied architecture, so in that I saw a perfect opportunity for all the artists, like even newbies, to go out there to showcase what they have, and to have a potential to scale really fast, because you are directly having a contact with the audience all over the internet. And if we are putting aside the art, what I saw was the idea of having a proof of ownership, a certificate for real estate, a cryptographic representation of it. That was a part of a narrative with NFTs, but it never took off. Like, do you remember that narrative regarding NFTs?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's
Yep.
still debatable. It's around, but yeah, it's like the word NFT has its own stigma,
Yeah. So eventually, it's like NFTs, they transformed into a community. It has a community-driven utility. It's like a cultural thing, and it is iconic. Like still, there are so many beautiful crypto communities that are gathering around NFTs. But yes, this idea of proof of ownership certificate of real estate, it did not work out. But I was intrigued even back then. And throughout my crypto journey, I have been involved with NFT marketplace. I've been working as a BD and marketing specialist with the developers. And I saw which projects succeed, what are the trends on the market, what is fleeting, and what is relatively stable, and what are the needs, like real retail users' needs out there on the market. And like everything narrowed down to RWAs, because it's something that's been out there for a long time. Institutions are familiar with it, as well as retail users, but there are many issues still related to accessibility. And blockchain, like our crypto industry, we are able to provide the infra, and hopefully it'll have a success.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ability to take advantage of this moment. Like leaders such as yourself and ourselves, we're wanting to build out these rails, these payment rails, or accessibility, tokenization of any of numismatics, of great points. And being these pioneers, it's really, there's a lot of naysayers, and now Coinbase just came out, they're tokenized, so BlackRock is signaling that they're involved with RWAs and tokenization. Like, it's a major shift in like the ideology of like crypto and only use cases as like the traditional crypto standards, I guess to say. But but yeah, I've always been interested in seeing what NFTs can be used as a way to offer ownership. And like you mentioned,
Yeah.
art, obviously that was a transitional period for all of us. Like, the PFPs and all that when it came to NFTs. But now
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned that, and before we end up getting into like what was Valdora Finance, I want to add to that, like, what do you see as like the next kind of move towards, like, is like you said, physical art, like, are artists utilizing? I know like Banksy had like some stuff, and who was the other artist? People, like,
People. Yeah.
yeah. Do you see like other artists implementing like these kind of NFT or ownership, um, from your side of things? Is that like moving forward, or just a phase kind of thing?
Mm, I've heard a lot of talks and speculations on that matter during NFT Paris, NFT RWAs. Do you know about this event in Europe? NFT
I've
Paris.
heard of it. I'm not been to it though.
Yeah, so this topic has been brought up about like tokenization of high value art,
Mm,
and also potentially a vintage luxury items,
mhm.
also vintage cars tokenization. But have you seen it taking off? Have you seen it have any success throughout this year? How many
Um,
projects did you come across?
I would say this year I haven't seen too much. It's been a lot of noise, but in the last, I'd say 2023, 24, maybe 23, maybe 22 more. Um, a lot of people have been like dabbling in like use cases. My biggest thing is it's proving not only the ownership but authenticity, the authenticity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like you mentioned, like high art, high end art, luxury goods. It's good to prove that one ownership, but also if you had like a Mona Lisa painting or a Picasso painting has been authenticated through the right authenticators, then that gives it more credibility. They're
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that use case, but yeah, I've seen stuff with like Artifact and Nike. They had their thing, but I haven't seen anything much about Artifact. Um, we my project D Store previously, we were doing digital assets, so like clothing, and like we did opals, and but it's kind of hard to like stick a QR code on an opal. Like you can't really integrate maybe an NFC chip or something, but um,
Mm-hmm.
it came down to scalability, I guess to say, and adoption. So of course, adoption is number one. Like who's going to use these like QR codes and on their products? Are we the ones that are selling the QR code? Who has attestation? So those are the things we run into, is like who's the one that offers like the ability to have tokenization. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so did you see the update from Coinbase yesterday? Or well, I don't think it was your time, maybe this early this morning. Coinbase
And
token.
that's
I'll present it and show you here. Um, so here we go. I'll play a little clip here.
okay. Go ahead.
We've been hearing demand from funds and asset managers in real world assets. Like us, they believe that crypto rails can democratize access to capital markets, improve liquidity, eliminate settlement risk, and reduce back office fees. We've actually been tokenizing assets for many years at Coinbase with wrapped Bitcoin and stablecoins, but that was just the beginning. Today, we're excited to introduce another new product, Coinbase Tokenize. Coinbase Tokenize is our end-to-end solution for bringing off-chain assets on-chain. It combines issuance, custody, compliance, and trading all in one place. And Coinbase is uniquely situated to create a market for tokenized assets. On the one hand, we have.
All right, I'll just play a little clip, but yeah. So essentially, they're getting in the mix as well. With tokenization, and that's like it's another like nail in the coffin that I'm sure you've may have felt. I felt myself is there's not now there's more people, but previously, there wasn't a lot of people talking about RWAs. I mean, it was like an idea, of like having ownership and stuff like with NFTs, but like none of it was attached to a physical good that I've seen. We've done it ourselves. Me and John both have gone our navigation through the journey of doing so, but now it's becoming more prevalent. So like just before we go into another topic, do you want to give like a intro of Valdora Finance and like what do you guys offer? What you're doing?
Of course. So Valdora Finance is a liquid staking protocol built natively on ZIGChain. And with us, users stake the native token, ZIG, and they receive a derivative token, stZIG. It is yield bearing. And then with this asset, they can travel through DeFi and use it however they want to. And like this is a very short intro, and I can go into details about the liquidity, like the security of a chain, moving forward a bit. So, but it's in a nutshell.
Hey, Mia, what assets are you planning on having on chain?
The assets that are well, it always depends on the partnerships, and ZIGChain, they already do have partnership with institutional players like Apex Group, like Zamanat, 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝘀, Signally, ZoniX, like Disrupt, 𝗵𝗵𝗁𝗀. It's like the 𝗵𝗵𝗁𝗀 is the latest news about tokenization of invoices. Yes.
Ooh.
So it's good. Yeah.
So right now that's called, it's known as factoring. So if you want to, let's say you're a large corporation and you have millions of dollars weekly or monthly or billions of dollars, and typically with your vendors, you have what's known as net 30 terms. So they have 30 days from the receipt of goods or delivery or whatever the transactional items might be. And then, so what they do, instead of waiting 30 days, you can sell those invoices to a factoring company. Citigroup is one of the largest factors in the world, and they take a percentage of those overall invoices. So let's say it's $1 million in invoices. They'll give you $900,000. And that way you get your money. You're not waiting 30 days for the vendor to pay. And so as soon as you said invoices, that just sparked in my head there's trillions of dollars of invoices at any given time throughout the world. That's a really interesting angle that you're taking there.
Yeah, that's a real use case. And also real estate, like with having partners like Ellington, a boutique real estate company in Dubai, and with also like ZIGChain is in MENAP region. So being Sharia compliant is immensely important for this area, and this area is influential in the global market. So they have partners like Zamanat that brings Sharia compliant RWAs, like meaning compliant asset structures for Islamic finance markets.
The Sharia law part of it, is that because of interest being paid on the assets that you need to get around?
I am not an expert in all the technical details, but I do know that in order to for the people that follow this these rules, you need a Sharia compliant yield, and that is a certificate that is like quite difficult to get, but that is something that ZIGChain has already. And again, it is a matter of accessibility. and yeah, MENA region, they like right now they do have a chance to participate more, and yeah, accessibility and all these blockers for the retail users is something that we have to overcome in this industry, and ZIGChain does that successfully.
Oh, interesting.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So do you have access to these licenses, and like what was, like you mentioned you have, but what are some of the hurdles you're running into right now? You said it was the retail adoption. Is it specifically only Europe, or like are you able to have any adoption like overseas?
At the moment on ZIGChain we have like built-in blocks core protocols, and this chain is quite young. Our protocol, like Valdora, it went live in this autumn. Yes.
Okay.
And right now on this chain we have Valdora, liquid staking protocol. Then there is an Oroswap, a DEX, 𝗲𝗵𝗶𝘀 Finance, and 𝗪𝗵𝘁, which is lending and borrowing. And 𝗪𝗵𝘁, they had their debut a few days ago. It was like an official soft debut during our live stream. So at the moment, yes, there is infra, there are partnerships, and like these are initial steps. And I believe that, yeah, I mentioned, yes, let me, about the regions. They also have a partnership with 𝗪𝐿CX, and it is a EU, a European Union regulated digital asset exchange and compliance platform, providing licensed access to tokenized assets and crypto markets under European regulatory frameworks. So this is if we're talking about the regions.
Okay. All right. So you guys are on track to have a lot more, financial railways, or like RWAs or institutional interests.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, so I guess to go back to more of like the layering, because you said the Valdora Finance is built on top of the ZIGZAG chain. Is that right?
Yeah, on top of ZIGChain.
ZIGChain.
It is a yes, liquid staking protocol.
Okay. Do you have can you give a little bit more about the chain itself? Like, is it EVM? Is it its own type of chain? Like, I know you don't, if you have any technicals you can add to that.
It is within a Cosmos ecosystem.
Okay.
Yeah, Cosmos and smart contracts.
Tendermint. Yeah, it's a Rust base.
Yeah, Tendermint consensus layer.
Nice. That's great. Yeah, I mean, I think
interoperability, fast finality, all of that.
The biggest thing for me was Cosmos didn't have, I mean, outside of Luna and all that failed, but like they haven't had like another breakout chain. And it's great technology. The interoperability with Cosmos, I think the ecosystem has a lot of capabilities, especially building on the infrastructure. So I don't know if you have any insights on like what that looks like for you guys. So Valdora Finance is like your guys' staple project. Is there like more coming out of it, like ecosystem wise, or is it you guys are only focused on Valdora Finance?
You guys, you are talking about like me personally?
Yeah. Are you only specific Valdora Finance? Do you have like, because you work for you mentioned ZIGZAG, like ZIG is like a building block, or you guys?
Yes. ZIGChain is an L1, is a chain,
right?
And I am a co-founder of Valdora, which is a protocol that is built on top of that. It is natively built on ZIGChain, and I handle business development, marketing, specifically at this protocol. Yes, as a co-founder. So all my work is revolving around my protocol, Valdora, but I'm doing everything and anything to have a perfect alignment with the general vision, and like to have like all of us, like we see each other, like we support each other. Yet with these initial protocols that are being built on chain, all of us are like, we are doing partnerships. So we have this universe of ZIGChain where everything is connected, intersected. So yeah, we care about our protocols and about the whole ecosystem as well, simultaneously.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Mia, how do you bring in new business? Because this is something, RWAs, the tokenization of RWAs is something that still, even though we talk about these things on a daily basis, to us they're commonplace. To 95% of people out there, they have no idea what we would be talking about. What's your strategy to bring in customers? You mentioned real estate in particular. How do you go about getting clients to then give you the okay to start the process of tokenizing whatever the asset may be? I'm very curious how because we're doing the same thing here, but in a different, with a different product, with different asset. Let's say for us, it's rare coins, precious metals, high-end collectibles, things that are typically, I always use the term dead assets. So I'll give you a perfect example. There's literally hundreds of billions of dollars in dead assets sitting around just in the United States. And what I mean by that, so here's one of my favorite coins, a gold Krugerrand. I keep it in my pocket for good luck. And so there is billions upon billions and billions of dollars of gold sitting in people's homes and safes in the closet. And our idea is and has been to reactivate these assets so they can be used in Web3. So the premise of bringing in new customers is really something I'm interested in. So I would love to hear your thoughts on how you attempt and go about bringing in customers into your pipeline.
Okay, so if I understood you correctly, you are working on the memorabilia tokenization.
Correct.
Okay, and you are putting that on chain yourself? What's the process?
Dustin will answer that portion. He's more technical than I am.
So we would be the attestation for that. So we do have custody licensing from the business, American Coin and Currency. So we're capable of creating, that like vaulted aspect and I guess having a indexing of those products. The one thing that would be is that we need to have either the licensing for the tokenization, like what the laws around that, especially US, maybe something overseas to be better. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We're like, we have the capability of having the assets vaulted with us and issuing. The issuing part is the problem. Is do we have a third party? Do we get the licensing for the tokenization? So that's kind of where we're at. But we have a lot of products on hand, and
Okay, gotcha.
yeah. So that's the one thing, is that we're able to access all this product, but putting it on chain, that's the mediary, but the marketplace essentially is what we're building. So similar to OpenSea and similar to the other one.
Okay.
What's that other? I'm missing the name right
I
now.
can't think of it either. It's
No,
not.
it's-
It's right there.
But they do Pokemon cards essentially. They do like trading cards, and they turn the NFTs into RWA per se, but they allow people to exchange it directly instead of having to send it over, because it's all vaulted. But then they can redeem the products to their location. So this gives ability for yield on goods, so that people that can collateralize their numismatic coins. And it also gives the ability for the younger generation to access products without having to physically own it. So,
Okay. Yeah, numismatic coins, they grow in value over time, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so they are yield bearing in a way.
Yeah, a great store of value and potentially yield bearing. And going back to what I was mentioning earlier, so we're fortunate in that American coin and currency already has a large customer base throughout the United States and Canada built in. So the interest I have is marketing this very new way of, let's say, investing into RWAs and how you go about marketing it and things of that nature. So my original question of asking how you plan on marketing and promoting, and then who are you targeting in particular? Obviously, like in the United States, we have something called REITs, real estate investment trusts, that own large tracts of large pools of residential and commercial real estate. So if I was doing what you're doing, I would be looking to contact REITs, large property managers that that have relationships with the owners, whether it's private equity owners, individual owners, corporate owners, whatever the case may be. So yeah, I'm just curious on how you and I'm not asking you to give away any secrets or anything on how you're planning to attack it.
Any secrets?
How you're looking into bringing business, but it's all new, right? This is all new. I mean, for us, we've known about it for a few years, but again, most people out there, if I spoke to 10 people, maybe one of them would know what I'm talking about when it comes to tokenization of RWAs. So it is kind of, choose a term, the Wild West. But as larger institutions get involved, I first learned about it from an article I was reading a few years back with Larry Fink, where he was mentioning he expected the RWA marketplace to be a $16 trillion market by 2030. That immediately got my attention. And now we have more and more people, I shouldn't say people, institutions getting involved. I believe JP Morgan is starting an entire department, or already has started an entire department to kind of catch up to BlackRock's build program that they have. And of course, what Brian Armstrong said yesterday with Coinbase now bringing this into the fold, it's going to explode because more and more people are going to learn about it and then say, oh, wow, this is the start of something completely new. We were having a conversation the other day in my office about when are we going to get to the point where we can tokenize a human. And by that, I mean, so in the United States, Mia, if you play football in high school and you're really, really good at it, you get what you're called a blue chipper. And every year the top blue chippers get recruited by the best colleges to go play football at their schools. So imagine if, and this is all hypothetical, but we might get there one day. Imagine if you were to tokenize a prospect, whether it's someone who's going to be a doctor, and you help to finance their education, or someone who's going to, you think, eventually be a CEO of a large corporation, or someone who's going to be a money manager, do very well, or an athlete, or even a celebrity. So there's a lot of different categories where you could be an early, let's say, investor in a person, but that person, if they were digitized and tokenized, I see us maybe getting there one day.
So you're
And
like a
that's why-
shareholder of a human?
Yeah, an
Yeah.
investor in a human.
Investor in a human, but with like legal rights to take a profit out of their returns when they succeed.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like a parent.
Yep.
I
So
mean,
you invest just like a startup company. You invest in a startup company when they have nothing, when there's a couple people in a garage, and you give them seed capital. If that company, most of the time you lose your money because most of the time it doesn't work out. But every once in a while you get one of these that turns from a garage operation into a massive company. So in my mind, when I was thinking about all this, I was like, wow, why couldn't you do that same thing, but with a human? And you're just investing in that person who gets tokenized. And then if they succeed, you get a dividend in the future.
Yeah. Yes, that's an interesting idea, but it has been performed already. Like, I don't want to get too deep into a pop industry, but this is literally what happens with gigantic media corporations that work with musicians, like in South Korea. So you become a trainee at first, and then there is a contract. So those kids, I don't know, teenagers, they learn everything for free, and then they start their career, so they are in debt. It's like a student loan, and then the majority of the profit will go to like these huge companies, and it is interesting and deeply toxic. It's like a human ownership. Don't you agree? It's like a new form of.
It is.
Yes.
I absolutely agree with that sentiment.
wow.
On the opposite side of that, if you're in the situation where you need, that you're going to be successful because you have a special idea, and you can't get money or from any place or anywhere, it's very slow. I see what you're saying, but I don't see it as any different than if you go out.
Come on, John.
You are pixelated.
I became a robot.
I tend to do that sometimes.
Oh yeah,
but it's just something that we were talking about the other day in the office, and I found it interesting. But going all the way back, excuse me.
It's okay.
Do you have any projections on where you think you're going to be in a year from now, 2 years, 5 years? Where do you see the adoption coming from? Do you see a lot of? Poland is part of the EU, headquartered in Brussels, I believe. So I'm sure there's a lot of regulatory hurdles to jump through. Maybe more so than in the United States. So just curious where you see yourself and your business in, a year from now, 2 years, 5 years, and anything exciting you see coming down the road.
I would look at the big scale of things and try and seek patterns. So how adoption happens, if we are discussing RWAs, it is tightly related to the institutions, right? And you have to be trustworthy on the technical level, to have the right infra, to have the right set of vetted validators, to comply with the security requirements. There are many factors. There are many things that need to be covered, and it gives you an access to the right partnerships. And because there are requirements from the institutions to start entering the scene. And when they do, institutions bring real assets and they scale. It can be like treasuries, credit funds, real estate. It is more stable than like a lot of other crypto assets, more predictable cash flows. And those assets, they create liquidity and yield. And this liquidity, as a consequences, reduces volatility. And this trust compounds because there's crypto and institutions, and retail as users, trust compounds, and retail follows this opportunity. Like there's an opportunity, retail follows it. It's not that just general crowd, they have to create a hype from the thin air. Like when the system is working, when there is the right prioritization and all the entities, they reach this equilibrium, like this balance and a proper structure, then we need an environment to have people in, right? Like you cannot create it from scratch, because roles need to have, like roles have to be defined clearly. And all of us, we have our place in the system. I do BD and marketing. Like technical people do their thing. Institutions, the government, and like to draw the line, the results come when we understand each other, when we understand the goal, when we understand the gaps and the needs, and we're able to fulfill them through this proper collaboration and like being critical to things that we do and like to things that others do. This is like when it translated into MiCA and like all that. So standards. It's like a critique to make everything proper. You have to collide.
That's it. I guess.
Does this make sense?
Yeah, I've worked with a project that was MiCA, that worked with MiCA to have some adoption and like so I'm not fully aware of what MiCA. I know MiCA is like allows for like on like is it institutional adoption, or is it allowing you to implement on like exchanges? Like what?
It's generally a set of many requirements and rules. There are like many categories and like a proper law, because crypto is no longer an internet money. It grew out of this this persona, and right now, like we have to deal with the government. The government has to deal with us because no one's going anywhere.
No, I mean at this point we're already involved so much in the space. You know, having the idea of magic internet money is out the door now. But you know, you can have Peter Schiff debating all day about Bitcoin or but yeah, I guess we'll get on to some of the topics. I know we kind of just jumped in there. I always like to have a discussion when it comes to RWAs personally. But yeah, let's get into like, so we talked about custody. You mentioned liquidity. So is there like insurance provisions around like any like safety nets around you? Because you mentioned liquidity. Like when it comes to institutional adoption, like is there like safeguards that you're aware of, or like things that you would like to implement into your like Valdora Finance?
Insurance, it does not go from one entity, so there is no there should not be a single point of failure. So there is a custody and like insurance from the provider of the assets. There are some safety nets that are built inside of protocols on chain. Then like security measures, basic and mandatory as security audits. Some projects, they also include in their treasury, they allocate like an insurance money in case like any incident as a buffer. Yes, and these protocol risks are reduced by, again, like audits and monitoring the system, having vetted validators, multiple ledgers. So yes, it's infra and law, and this responsibility is spread. But I'm not a lawyer.
No, of course. So yeah, DYOR to those. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of safety nets, of course. I'm sure being the mindset of being in the RWA space is like a lot of it is like about like transparency. And so I guess I go back to some of your history, like you mentioned art, you mentioned like how like having like these like ownership of these assets. Like, do you see some of these products going into Valdora Finance, like if it is NFTs, like if, having some type of like fractionalization, or real estate was mentioned. Are you guys bringing some of those aspects too, like real estate on chain?
Yeah, this is something that is being handled by the ZIGChain on their side. And the thing that we do handle at Valdora is yield and liquidity at the same time. And without yield and liquidity, the scalability cannot be performed successfully. And yeah, you are aware of the staking.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it's like depositing and having your returns.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
with
Keep going. Go
ahead. Yes, I can be brief on that. So with liquid staking, we secure the chain because like TVL assets have to be on chain and circulate at the same time. So like empty chain is non-existent chain, right? Yes. So this is what we we enable users to have their assets locked, and the derivative token that they hold is something that grows in value. Yes, over time, and it is an automated process. And even at the times of market instability, what happens with the regular traditional staking is that users, they cluster around like there are validators, and these validators are pretty much independent, and there are like high rate validators somewhere on top, so humans like they gather around them and lock their assets when they want their capital back. And sometimes, oh, sorry, they're sleeping. And sometimes they want it now, and it's like urgent, so they all go to unbound. And it is like it jeopardizes the security, like, and the health of chain. And liquid staking is like a protector, because users, they have their liquid asset, they can exit anytime through DEX. Yeah, literally what I had, the situation that I had yesterday is my best friend, he sent me the link to NFT collection. And like I typically, like, I don't really buy NFTs, but I wanted, it was so pretty. And I connected my old wallet. I have forgotten about it at all. And I had ETH and I had liquid ETH. ETH and liquid. And it was not enough of ETH to buy an NFT, but I had a liquid one. So I just swapped. Boom, I bought an NFT. With a traditional staking, you would have to go to the protocol, do to the unbounding period, and it can be like on Cosmos, it can be up to 21 days of unbounding. So I would not be able to get my NFT, and with liquid staking, like it's done, and like they grew in value as well because it's like it is yield bearing.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So these are on the ZIGChain? Or these NFTs you mentioned?
No, NFTs. It's just my personal story of how liquid staking like really helps because when you need your exit, you get it, and you strengthen the chain at the same time. Like, and your assets can be used as a yield-bearing collateral.
Right.
If you go to like, you can borrow against it. You can lend it.
Nice. Okay.
Correct.
That's great.
In our case, you have custodianship. Well, with any RWA, unless it's real estate, doesn't move. But fine art, any kind of high-end piece of fill in the blank, whatever it might be. Custodianship is that's always been the workaround for us, but we did solve that finally.
Mm-hmm.
But congratulations on your NFT.
On my NFT. On my liquid staking.
Did a good move, huh? That's great.
It is a shame that NFT has got such a bad name because it's still such an integral part. Like, not without an NFT, none of this works. It's a digital title for the most part. Unfortunately, just became instead of a 4-letter word, a 3-letter word. But I do think that sentiment is changing, and I've been reading a lot more articles that are very favorable towards NFTs as opposed to ones that are negative.
Oh, okay.
So
It's been a while. I haven't seen any personally in a while. So I changed all our information around NFT to RWA. I just changed everything to RWA. It's just easier. Yeah, there's a huge stigma around it. But yeah, I do see the use case, the metadata, attestation around NFTs as a product rather than a specific picture, I guess to say. But yeah, there's a lot of not collateralization is the word, being able to add product information onto NFTs. And that's where I was at. We were able to like put metadata, or with the metadata able to put video and music and all this other, make it composable, outside of just like the regular standard of ERC21s and 1155s. There's now more composable NFT standards that are coming out. So I do like that, but I'm not sure where Cosmos is on that. I'm sure people have come across that idea of fractionalization, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see where NFTs are next. But yeah, we have some questions from our audience. We're out here about 5 minutes left, 4 minutes. Let's see.
Hello.
Why will institutions adopt tokenized treasuries, real estate, and commodities first? You have a response for that, Mia?
There is a new utility.
I think the chain of custody as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
Oh, yeah, it's all right. It is a cross-border like blockchain technology. It enables a cross-border transactions, and it is performed fast, and like also new audience, also new utility, liquidity, and again, it is a low-hanging fruit. Not to have those assets being idle. Yeah.
And on top of that, those are the largest, treasuries, real estate, and commodities. Those are the 3 largest asset pools on the planet.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, it's a huge TAM. It's what 16 trillion by 2030 is what people have been saying for a while. Can we reach that by 2030? Maybe, maybe not. But at least having such a high target allows us to at least have a piece of the pie. So I think that's very interesting. And yeah, it is a low hanging fruit. These are assets like you mentioned are idle, they're just sitting there. The generational wealth is just there. You might as well find some yield around it. Tokenization. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, and having these assets being like fractional for the fractional ownership, it increases the like regular users' participation because they don't have to wait until they reach a certain wealth point when they are finally like capable of buying one thing or another, and also the middleman issue, which is really loud and obvious in the developing countries markets.
Yeah.
So it's like it's tough to jump in.
True. A lot of middlemans. All right, we got another question here. How does ZIGChain differentiate itself in meeting institutional requirements for uptime validators and risk?
Differentiates itself in meeting institutional requirements. Well, when it comes to the risk management, I think I have covered the topic briefly, that it happens on multi-levels, and different professional parties are like doing those things. They are all the part of the system as a whole. This is when it comes to the risk management. And with the validators, it's like selection needs to be mindful, and this is what is happening on the ZIGChain, because in this industry, like why would you build if you can lose it in a day? Yes. So validator diversification, avoiding a single point of failure. Yes, validator delegation, and it can be automated like with Valdora. It is automated, and uptime is also deeply technical.
Yeah, maybe there's some information I can provide them. Maybe where can they find you if they can? Any more information that you can point them towards? Share it on screen if you want. Let's see.
I pulled Mia's organization up on X.
On X? Okay.
Where can you find me?
I'll put it up here.
Yeah, you can find me here on LinkedIn and on X.
Yeah, here's X. Just share this on screen. This is Valdora Finance, and then you can find Mia as well.
Yeah, my X. You can put my X on also there. Hold on.
Oh yeah. What's your X?
Advertisement.
I haven't found. I didn't salute too much to find you, but I found your main account.
Yeah. Where should I drop it?
If you leave it in the LinkedIn, I can add it here.
In our chat?
Oh yeah, if you could do the chat, just join the chat and then leave it on the comment section here on this chat.
Oh, gotcha.
And I can share it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on their private chat. Okay.
I'm a newbie on X. So far, I've been navigating LinkedIn. I like this platform. It's interesting and very special. But X.
Yeah, X. It's been a lot of noise in the last couple of years. So I've been transition to LinkedIn a little bit more.
Yeah, depends on your goals, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's in the middle because X is good for like crypto people, our demographic, but then like more I guess traditional or institutional interests, like you can find a lot of the founders on LinkedIn directly. So it's kind of it's a mix. So I try to keep
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
I try to keep my visibility on both. So
Yeah, that's the best approach.
yeah, but the crypto people, easily you can just jump on crypto Twitter and just talk to anybody. But LinkedIn's a little special. You kind of have to get your foot in the door, and
Yeah, but
a
it's
lot,
so fast.
a lot more work. But yeah, you're on Telegram as well. I know you mentioned the chat with you there. So we're gonna have another panel with other people from RWA space.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd love to have you on there as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow, when?
Probably
After the New Year.
either next month, after New Year, or February. I think it would be the time. Yeah, because
It'd be amazing. Do you mean that?
Yeah. We'll have you and some other people that we've had previously in RWA. So a lot of leaders in the space, get some good minds on, figure out what we're doing. Yeah. So we're at the hour here. It's a little bit over time.
Real quick, Dustin, because we didn't talk about coins at all, and I'm fine with that. I like to change things up.
We'll talk about
there's been some historic things happening.
Okay,
so following silver. Silver yesterday almost hit 67 an ounce.
Pull up some stuff here,
which is absolutely crazy that it's moving up that quickly, but it makes sense as well if you look at what's happening in the world. In fact, I've been multiple articles and stories I read about, typically if you're a large corporation, right? Like let's say you're Samsung or Apple or Tesla, all of them need massive amounts of silver to build the products that they offer to the world. And typically you'd go to you buy silver from an exchange in mass quantities. And that's the way it's been done forever. Now stories are coming out that executives, in particular from Samsung, arrived in Mexico over the weekend to go to the representatives of the silver mines in Mexico to come up with a deal to buy direct, at least buy the ore direct from the mine, and then they will have it shipped out to have it refined instead of buying the refined product the way that it's always been done. So what does that mean? That means that there's such a rush for silver. And what's crazy is that these large buyers like Samsung, Apple, Tesla, those are obviously the three biggest, but there's hundreds of thousands of other companies that need silver in some way, shape, or form. It's a small part. So let's say you're making a car, right? A Tesla, $100,000 car. The silver in there is maybe a few $100s worth of silver. So in the grand scheme of things, the companies don't care if the silver costs them if it goes up a little bit, it's non-elastic. They have to have it for their product. So they're willing to just keep buying and buying and buying, which they need to do. But it is amazing that they are now having representatives go directly to mines to buy ore, or at least future ore, to then have refined, to then have that delivered. So with that, and with the short covering, and with JP Morgan in the last week now becoming, JP Morgan closed all short positions on silver, and they are now net long on silver. In fact, from what I've read, they are only long silver. And JP Morgan, for those of you that don't know this, is the largest holder of physical silver in the world. They have something like 800 something tons of silver, physical silver. So that is really a tailwind pushing the price up, as well as just, you have geopolitical tensions, you have a flight to safety. And I don't want to leave gold out because gold is doing its own thing, but silver is catching up to where it should be in correlation to the price of gold. So the past week has been, since last Thursday, there's just been so much that has happened in these markets. And I could say in our business, we've had so many people coming in, either looking to buy or sell. In fact, there's less sellers now at $65 an ounce than there was a few weeks ago when it was in the 50s, which leads me to believe that most of the people that were holding, just regular people holding a couple ounces, 50 ounce, 100 ounces, doesn't matter. They've already sold it. So with less sellers, the selling is kind of seems, at least from what I've seen here, stopped. And now we're getting into more net buyers. And I almost fell on the floor earlier. I saw American Silver Eagles are now $74 for one silver eagle. It wasn't long ago, Mia and Dustin, when I was buying those for $15 each. And I'm talking just a couple of years ago.
Yikes.
So, it's an interesting time that we are in. But I love having someone like Mia on and having these conversations about RWAs, because that's another thing that's near and dear to my heart. And it's also going to change the world. It's just going to take a little time. So thank you so much, Mia, for coming today. And when we have that panel, you'll definitely be invited back to be a part of that panel.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, a huge pleasure to spend this time with you. And also, if you want, you can take my silver. I have a lot of
information. I'll buy it from you.
You'll take it as a gift. Here
I'll get you
from Bali.
From Bali?
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Maybe I'll trade you for some gold.
Gold? Oh man,
that's generous.
All right. Well, final words from you, Mia. Where can people find you, and what's going on next?
Yes, find me and find Dustin and John, and have fun with crypto and RWAs. Stay sane in this market and hopeful.
Sane. True. John, final words. What's going on?
Well, because of the way the holidays are falling this year, it happens every other year. So this year, the Christmas and New Year's is not on the weekend. It falls in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
Next year, it'll fall on the weekend. So we're not going to have a show next week for Christmas. And then, it's the day after Christmas, right? Yeah. No, it is on Christmas. And then
Thursday.
The new year, the 1st of 2026, is week after. So we won't be having. I've been standing this whole time. I like standing during the day. So we won't have another show till the new year. So I wish everyone a very happy and safe and Merry Christmas and New Year. And we'll see everyone back here again soon.
Sure.
Yeah, see ya. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Have fun.
Happy holidays, everybody. I did want to make like an episode for New Year's. It's kind of like a pre-recorded episode, but we'll figure that out if that's
you want to do it.
Let's do it. I want to do like a pre-recorded live. I'll just play it live kind of thing. But the markets are looking good. I know Bitcoin's taking its toll. It's probably going to pop up a little bit. It's doing the same move it did in 2021. And then proof of work chains tend to come over. So that's kind of what I'm seeing, is that proof of work blockchains are moving into the fold. And then RWAs are, obviously haven't taken its, piece of the pie, I guess to say, when it comes to market share. I know there's like Ondo, there's RWX or RWA Inc. And there's other chains that are starting to do it. I know Valdor and ZIG. So yeah, I'm excited to see RWAs take some of the market share when it comes to crypto space. Bitcoin, I believe, is going to take its toll till October of next year when it comes to price depreciation, and then real world assets or like precious metals are going to take in a lot of that price action. It's almost similar to last time when it came to 2021, but we'll see if it's the same. But yeah, I'm excited to see what real world assets are going to be when it comes to a tradable market, when it comes to on-chain. So yeah, I'm excited to have you on again, Mia, and yeah, we're happy holidays and New Year's for everybody. This is American Coin Currency. We're here with Valdora Finance and Mia, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great year. We'll see you next year.
Take care. Thank you, Mia.
Thank you, Mia.
Bye bye. Thank you, guys.